Hi, Brendan here with another episode of Coach Gee TV. You know, golfers and investors have a lot in common. And when I say investors, I'm going to put myself as a financial planner early on in my career in that category. Golfers, from Tiger Woods down to the weekend warrior, they're constantly, if you watch them, they're making changes to their swings, be it their grip, their backswing, where their head position is. It's all in an effort to produce consistent, reliable results in hitting the golf ball. And here's the thing, for what's the source of a lot of frustration for golfers is they go through the time and effort to make change to their swing, but they never achieve the consistency that they were looking for. Perhaps they were hitting the ball way to the right. After the change, eventually they start hitting the ball way to the left. They never see the consistency that they want to see. So for investors, it's the same thing. They're making a lot of changes but not seeing the results. For myself as a financial planner, I went through a period of a lot of changes and it led to some frustration, and I thought I would share with you how I got myself out of that frustration. So today's program is called It's Not About Change. And here's the thing, when I first got into business as a financial planner, there was a couple of assumptions that I was operating under, maybe not even consciously knowing this. But it seemed logical or reasonable that underpriced or overvalued markets or stocks could be forecasted or predicted. There was a ton of evidence in terms of rates of return, track records that led evidence to this. And the belief was this: somebody should have the unique ability, and they're the ones who would be able to consistently generate superior rates of returns and avoid losses. Well, if you come back to me for a second, we went through a period where, again, this was the assumption. When I first got into the business, we had a mutual fund manager who was producing 28% positive rates of return. At that time, cable wasn't what it was, so he was still on the cover of all the magazines, well quoted and so forth. So again, it made sense that he would be someone who you should be able to give your money to, and he's going to produce superior rates of return. Problem was this: his positive 28 eventually turned to a -4. And around the firm, we started making changes. We started selling different families of mutual funds, thinking, well, they're going to be able to produce superior rates of return for us. But the changes led to frustration because we never got to see the consistent rates of return that we were looking for our clients. And here's the reason why. And this was the source of a lot of peace of mind for me, if you look back up here. When it comes to investing, when it comes to stocks or the market, all the knowable and predictable information is factored into the markets and stock prices. They're factored in there right now. It's only unknowable and unpredictable information and events that's going to change market prices. Okay, so all the current information is factored in. It's only unknowable, unpredictable information that's going to change market prices. When we were back here, under this assumption, someone's going to have the unique ability that they're going to be the ones to produce superior rates of return. This was not part of the equation, part of the assumption. That what they were engaged in, again, here's the randomness of markets. The randomness of being able to predict how markets or how people are going to react to unknowable, unpredictable events. That's what they're engaged in. That's how they're telling you they're going to be able to produce superior rates of return. Well, we all know that people cannot consistently predict how people are going to react, how they're going to absorb information, and how they're going to react to it. So what we were engaged in here, in terms of their predictions and their forecasts, the outcome was completely 100% random. You're not going to produce consistent, superior rates of return. You're not going to avoid losses when you're engaged in something so random. So again, and the situation is this: if consistently wrong in your predictions, the returns are going to suffer and costs are going to go up. This was not part of the thought process. And I don't think it's part of the thought process for a lot of investors. As we said, it leads to a lot of changes. When you make the changes and you don't see the results, you get frustration and you get confusion. You're figuring, how am I going to get what I'm after? Well, here it is. It's about not about change, but it's about accepting what's taking place. And again, it's about this randomness of people that makes it impossible for anybody to predict in advance how markets or how stocks or how people are going to react to that information. So again, if we can not so much change what we're doing, but begin to accept what's the reality, we're going to have a lot more peace of mind. Again, it's not about change. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions with regard to today's program or future programs, call 610-446-4322 or send an email to brendan@coachgee.com. Also wanted to mention, Navigating the Fog of Investing. It's a course we're going to be giving at the Delaware County Community College starting November 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. 3 sessions starting at 8 o'clock, going to end no later than 9:30. To register, give a call, 610-359-5900. And if you'll come back to me for one quick second, I want to give a special shout out to Edge Wallboard Machinery. Bob Edge and the gang, they are celebrating their 50th year in business. It's an amazing accomplishment, so we want to pass along congratulations and best of luck in the future to Edge Wallboard Machinery. Bye-bye.